Well, good morning, everybody. We are going to start our presentation now. Today, we are going to do corporate lending. Corporate lending. When a corporate customer requesting a facility from the bank, how we will evaluate it? How we will evaluate? That's what we are going to do it today. When we say corporate customers, each bank has its own definition for a corporate customer based on those corporate customers' annual turnover, or maybe the number of employees, and what is the total asset value. So based on that one, each bank or finance company, they have a definition, their own definition for a corporate customer. So all banks, all financial institutions have their corporate customers based on their own definition. Okay. Now we know who are the corporate customers. Right. How we are going to evaluate it. Now, the commercial enterprises. Commercial enterprises. So we have learned, we have earlier, of course, overview of lending, we have seen the commercial enterprises. We have different types of commercial enterprises. Classification is based on the asset value, turnover, or number of employees of the enterprise, based on that one. So we can categorize them, commercial enterprise, into small and medium scale businesses. Small and medium scale businesses. So they may be legally, they may be sole proprietorship or partnership, or maybe small private companies will come under this category. Small and medium commercial enterprises. Sole proprietorship or partnership or small private limited liability companies may come into this category. So those, when that type of commercial enterprises requesting a credit facility, we can evaluate them. I have already told you, the credit evaluation, we have to do it systematically. So for that purpose, the senior bankers have developed various tools, various methods for evaluation. So these small and medium scale commercial enterprises, when they make a request for a credit facility, we can evaluate it by using 5Cs method, even 5Cs method, even for the consumer credit also we can use it. For this type of small and medium scale commercial enterprises also we can use it. And Campari also we can use it here. And pass, papers. So these are some different tools or methods for evaluation. This we have already seen. We have explained to you. We have already seen. Okay. But in the case of large scale commercial enterprises, which we call corporate enterprises, corporate businesses, large and private public companies and corporations comes under this category. Large, private and public companies, so corporations will come under this category, as I told you, based on their turnover, annual or whatever the turnover, business turnover, asset value, and the number of employees employed by them. Yeah, they can categorize. So now, even if we look at these large scale corporate enterprises, that also we can classify. One is conglomerates. Conglomerates. What is conglomerates? A group of corporates in different industries in a country. A group of corporates in different industries in a country. Now, if we take as an example, Haley's is a conglomerate. They have different companies. different companies in different sectors, areas. A group of companies. Or John Keels. Yes, is another example. They are conglomerates. So they have different companies in different business sectors in a country. That is conglomerate. Then other one, multinational or international or transnational companies. Multinational, international or transnational companies. So who are they? Corporate established in more than one country. So they also have the it's a group of companies, and some group, some companies, some corporate, they are operating in different countries. So that type of companies, group of companies, we can call as transnational or multinational or international companies. So all these time, whether it's a corporate or a conglomerate or a international or transnational that type of companies, when they make a request, so we had to evaluate their credit requirement. So for that one also, we are using a separate different tool or method to evaluate their request for a credit facility. What is that tool? Corporate credit analysis, the risk assessment. I always say when we do the evaluation, we have to look whether there are any risk in it. Whether there is risk in it. One by one, we have to identify. And we must make, we have to reduce the risk, or we have to provide safeguards to reduce the risk. So here, in the case of corporate credit evaluation, this is a complex subject. Complex subject. There are large number of elements to be compared. We have large number of elements to be compared. It is like a chain. People used to, ladies or men, they used to wear chain. There are links, different links connected and make the chain. All the links may be strong, but if one link is weak, when you stretch, the chain may break. Similarly, I told you, in the case of corporate evaluation, there are many elements you have to study, you have to evaluate. All elements may be strong. All elements may be strong, but when one element is weak, that project or that enterprise may fail because of that one weak link, because of that one weak element. So we have to be very careful when we are evaluating the corporate credit request. So complex subject, large number of elements to be compared. Credit analysis like a chain being stretched. Each link in the chain represents an element in the analytical framework. There may be stronger links, but when the weakest link gives away, the chain will snap. So this concept is applicable to corporate credit also. Now, what are the important links in the credit chain of a corporate credit chain? What are the links? Yes, one is the environment. That is where the country where this company is operating, corporate is operating, you have to look various environment. Then the industry in which the corporate is operating, how the industry, especially whether how much the competition. So why the competition we have studied, we will see now. So then the other important link is the industry where this corporate is operating. Then the competitive position of the corporate within the industry. Then the financial risk of this corporate, other element. Then management of the corporate. And finally, credit structuring and the collateral quality. So these are the important links. You have to evaluate. So these are the important elements in the corporate credit analysis. You have to evaluate. So when you number it, there are 6 elements: the environment, the industry, the competitive position, the financial risk, the management, and finally the credit structure and collateral quality. 6. And actually the first one, if you look at the environment, is for the country's environment. And the second one, the industry, is within the country. So these two are relevant to the country. And then next one, the third one, competitive position, is in regard to this corporate customer. And the financial risk is in regard to this corporate customer. The management of the corporate customer. And finally, the credit structure and collateral quality also for the corporate customer. So the first one is common to the country. So we can consider it as one. But we do the analysis separately, but we can consider it as one. So if we consider that as one, then competitive position, financial risk, management, credit structure, and collateral quality, those are 5. So this is very popularly known as 5 pillars of credit evaluation. This is very popularly known as 5 pillars of credit evaluation. Actually, when sometime back, about 3 decades ago, the government proposed to restructure the state banks. The Bank of Ceylon, People's Bank, they were restructured with a foreign international assistant. So in the case of Bank of Ceylon, there was a very reputed company, international company specialized in the banking, Booz Allen and Hamilton International. Booz Allen and Hamilton International. They visited, they were helping the Bank of Ceylon for a longer period, and restructuring all new things were introduced. Actually, these 5 pillars was introduced to Bank of Ceylon by Booz Allen and Hamilton International during that restructuring program. Then only the Bank of Ceylon started to follow this one. And thereafter, all other banks also, they have started to follow this 5 pillars of credit evaluation for corporate customers. Right. So now we move on. Evaluation of the environment. Evaluation of the environment. So this is, in other words, country risk. This is country risk. Evaluation of the environment. We call it country risk. Actually, we are evaluating within Sri Lanka. If a corporate customer making the request, our own country, we are evaluating. Similarly, when a foreign company, if they wanted to do business in Sri Lanka, or if they wanted to commence a venture or a project in Sri Lanka, they will do country risk analysis. If a Japanese company, they wanted to do a business or venture or project in Sri Lanka, before coming, they will do the analysis themselves. The one important analysis is country risk analysis. That is the environment analysis they will do. So in that one, we popularly known as pestle analysis. It is pestle analysis. So what is the meaning of this pestle analysis? First, political or regulatory analysis. P. Then economic analysis. E. Then social or cultural analysis. Social or cultural analysis. S. And then technological analysis. And then ecological analysis. And finally, legal analysis. The first letter of all these analyses, it makes the pestle analysis. So when I am using this board, you can click the whiteboard in your computer and see the board clearly when I am using. So now this is political, economical, social, and cultural, technological, ecological, and finally legal. This is textual analysis. Textual analysis. So political, you know the meaning of political or regulatory. Political or regulatory analysis, you know the meaning. Economical, the meaning. Social and cultural meaning. Technological meaning, you know. Ecological is actually, it is in the about the surrounding. Surrounding means it is the living organisms and the physical status of the environment. Physical status and the living organism. The connection between the living organism and the physical status, that is studying. So it's also a science, a part of a science leading to the study of living organisms, interaction or relationship among the living organisms and the physical status. So actually, when we say ecological, that is flora, fauna, flora means plants, fauna means animals, and then physical, that is air, soil, water, etc. So this comprises the ecological environment, and finally the legal. So we have to analyze this one the first in the textual analysis, right? Political or regulatory environment. So you will study the political or regulatory environment. In that one, analysis. In that one, the government, whether there are any restriction or licensing for this particular industry, whether there are any restrictions, or you all know that certain industries you can't just start. Certain industries you can start, but certain industries there are some regulatory measures you have to satisfy. You have to obtain the licensing from the government. So that one you have to see. So whether there are any government restrictions or licensing for this particular industry in your analysis, you have to see. Then other government impose import quotas, tariffs on the products. So now, if your customer, corporate customer whom we are doing the credit evaluation, if he's an exporter, he's a manufacturer, and at the same time, he is an exporter of the item to other countries. So those countries, the importing countries, whether there are any restriction in the import by way of tariff barriers or non-tariff barriers. So what is the meaning of tariff barriers and non-tariff barriers? Now, is barriers for imports, maybe tariff barriers, non-tariff barriers. Actually, you are doing evaluating the corporate customers' financial request, you are evaluating. So you have to see if he's an exporter, he is exporting to certain countries. So those countries are the importing countries. In those importing countries, whether there are barriers for this export. So the barriers could be tariff barriers or non-tariff barriers. So tariff barriers mean duties. Actually, even in Sri Lanka, when most of the things, when we are importing, we have to pay import duties. We have to pay import duties. So duties. Duty payment. So those are tariff barriers. What is non-tariff barriers? Quality. Quality, based on the quality. Based on the quality. Now, for an example, I will tell you, if anybody going to Australia to see their son or daughter or any relations, so they take various items with them. Various items, Sri Lankan item, which may be actually their daughters or their relations who are in Australia would have told them, we like this, we like this, so these people will take. But they are at the time of entry into the country, so they will inspect. And even our milk powder, our own milk powder from here, they won't not allow. Even other food items, they won't not allow. They will just throw into the waste paper bin. Wasted items. You can't take. Based on the quality, they say, yes, if these items go into their country, their product may get a problem. So because of that one, they won't allow. So based on the quality, these are quality barriers. For an example, Japan. There is a very reputed ornamental cut flower exporter. They have exported contain a load of cut flowers and plants to Japan. At the time of inspection, at importing country, they do the inspection. At the time of inspection, they have identified some ants. Some ants. Actually, they didn't allow. And that entire container load was destroyed. Because if the ant from Sri Lanka go to Japan, that may create a problem by way of diseases and various things in their plants. So these are the non-tariff barriers. So you have to see quality based on non-tariff barriers means based on the quality. So based on the one barrier is the duties and other one is the non-tariff barriers based on the quality. Right. And apart from that, quotas, whether there are quota system for our export to their countries. You would have seen, learned in the past years, the quota systems were there. The government quota system, the USA provided. And then they have abolished that one also. Based on certain things, they have abolished it. Similarly, European Union, our fish import, fish export to that country was banned, saying the quality. So these things, of course, because after granting the facility to our corporate customer, if they face this type of problem at the time of their export, then they will lose. If they lose, they won't be able to pay their loan. So you have to see that one. So other government impose whether import quotas, tariffs on the products, and the non-tariff barriers. Then government grant or subsidies available for our corporate customer for his export, whether there are any government subsidies, it is beneficial. It is beneficial to the corporate. Whether there are any subsidy or grants for them to manufacture certain items and export, whether they are having. That also you have to see. And compare to this, at the same time, you must compare these grants and the facilities, subsidies given by the government, whether this type of facilities are available in the global market for other countries. Because our government is giving subsidies or grants for the particular product in our country. Similarly, from Vietnam also, if those government give, so in the international market, the competition. Both are getting their government subsidy or grants. The Vietnam producer also getting. In Sri Lanka, we also, our customer also getting. But if the Vietnam customers the getting the subsidy is bigger than the Sri Lankan customer, our corporate customer, it is beneficial for him in the global market. They will have the competitive advantage because the subsidy they are getting or the facility they are getting from their grants, they are getting from their government is bigger than the same thing getting by our corporate customer. So the Vietnam customer, Vietnam producer will have a competitive advantage. You have to compare that one. Then, duties or taxes on products, import and export. So, of course, I have already discussed the duties and taxes when we are exporting, our customer is exporting or our customer is importing, how much is you have to. Then regulatory requirements. Apart from that, whether there are any regulatory, it is also important. This is a safety and consumer protection. Safety of the product and the consumer protection. Yes, whether these things are available by the government. So our corporate customer should satisfy it. He has to ensure the safety of the employees working in the industry, and he has to ensure the consumer protection. He has to. Sometimes certain industries are accident prone. Sometimes the people are working on the machinery. Sometimes they may lose their hand. This has happened. So big compensation has to be paid. So these things will affect the company's corporate customers' income and the profitability. And finally, the other thing, the free trade agreement. So under the free trade agreement, maybe with other countries, our exporters may get some benefits. Exporters and importers may get some tax relief. They may get. So free trade agreement, that also you have to study. Whether if our customer is importing from India certain item as raw material and exporting to some other country. So if the India there is a free trade agreement, the Sri Lanka has. Then you must study whether these importing of raw material, whether those items are coming under this free trade agreement. You have to see. So this way you have to analyze the political or regulatory environment. So as I tell always, you must look for the risk element involved in this thing. The risk analysis you have to see. So that is the first one, that is political or regulatory environment analysis. So these are some basic guidelines I am giving you. When you do a corporate credit analysis, you have to keep these things in your mind and you have to do the analysis practically. This is only the theory part I am telling you. This is only the theory part I am telling you, which you have to apply when you are doing your corporate credit analysis practically. Right. Then the economic environment. Next one, the economic environment you have to analyze. Right. In the economic environment, how is the industry or company affected by higher interest rates? So actually the economic environment, three important factors. So when I go to the board, please click on this whiteboard. One is interest rates, inflation, foreign exchange rates, the interest rates. So now, whether the interest rate is high or low or moderate, you have to see. Now there are two countries, A and other country B. Maybe this is our country, Sri Lanka. This is another country. In Sri Lanka, the interest rate may be, if the interest rate is higher, when compared to the country B, here the interest rate is low. In Sri Lanka, if just for an example, if it is higher, right, then our corporate customer in Sri Lanka, his cost of production will be higher because the interest rate is higher. Obviously, the cost of production of the item which he is exporting will be higher. On the other hand, the country B, since their interest rate is low, their cost of production is low. So they can offer a better price in the international market, global market, than our corporate customer because his cost of production is higher. The country B, the cost of production is low. So the country B customer in the international market can offer a better price, a lower price than our customer in the international market. So that also you have to look into. So interest rate, that is one thing. Then inflation. Simply the inflation means general increase in prices of products. General increase in prices of products. So inflation in a country A, in Sri Lanka, then country B, here the inflation high, here the inflation moderate or low. Sri Lanka, the inflation is high, then country B, the inflation is, Then the cost of production of item which our corporate customer exporting, the same item is exported by the country B, country B customer also, country B manufacturer also exporting the same product. Then here the inflation is high, everything is increased, raw material price will increase, then labor cost will increase, transport cost will be increased, everything will be increasing if the inflation is higher. So cost of production will be higher in Sri Lanka. On the other hand, the country B, if their inflation is low or moderate, their cost of production will be lower than our cost of production. Then again, same principle in the international market or global market, country B, the customer will have, exporter will have a competitive advantage than our customer. So that also you have to see. So in that case, as I explained you earlier, the higher interest rate, in that case, whether our customer has any other method to reduce its cost of production without compromising the quality. Without compromising the quality, whether our customer has any other better way to reduce his cost of production, you have to see. So this is other matter, economic environment. Then the fluctuating foreign, right? So higher inflation rate. Then the fluctuating foreign exchange rate. Then the foreign exchange. So actually, the foreign exchange rate in a country should be stabilized. It's stabilized. Stabilized. It should be stabilized. Foreign exchange rate. Then only the manufacturers can take a decision, and they can export. So actually, foreign exchange rate will increase only, but not fluctuate very often. When it is fluctuating, what happened? Now a custom manufacturer, he imports his raw material from some other country. He is planning now $1 is equal to our Sri Lankan currency, maybe 185 rupees. Just for an example. He planned. He imported container load of raw material for manufacturing. Based on that one, he is giving a market price to another person who imports his product. So this our corporate customer, he is a manufacturer as well as an exporter. He order to import certain raw material from certain country. at a price at that time, the $1 is equal to maybe just as an example 185 rupees. He is importing. Based on that one, he has given his export price also to his exporter. Based on that one, he has given. But when the fluctuating, if it is a fluctuating foreign exchange rate, suddenly it has gone to 190 rupees. Then what will happen? At the time of importing, clearing the goods, he has to pay at, unless he do any forward arrangement, unless he do forward import arrangement for a forward exchange arrangement, then at the time of clearing the goods, he has to pay 190 rupees. So with that price, when he produce, the cost of production will be high. So at this cost of production, he won't be able to supply the goods to that importer as agreed upon earlier price. He can't do it. If he do it, then he will lose. So this type of thing will be detrimental for the manufacturers and the exporters. So in a country, the foreign exchange rate should be stabilized. So if it is very, fluctuating foreign exchange rate, it is detrimental to the manufacturer and the exporters. So you have. Then another thing. So when you do the economic analysis, these are certain things. One, you have to see how is the inflation, how is the interest rate, how is the foreign exchange rate. All these things you have to consider. There. The cyclical of the industry. Cyclical of the industry. What does it mean? What does it mean? The country's GDP, gross domestic product value, countries, and this is the period. Here it is positive, here it is negative. If you look at, developed countries, the production growth at some point will be higher. Then sometimes it may come down. The growth or the GDP come down. And again recover and go up. And again it may come down periodically. Sometimes it may come negative also. It goes. So this is, we call it economic cycle. Economic cycle, it will go. So here we take this one here. We call it the maximum production, higher GDP. We call it peak. Peak. So when the economy is in economic production is peak, what happened in that country? A lot of companies will work, open and work. Lot of industrial projects, industrial production will go on, maximum. So when those industrial production is going on, more number of people will be employed. So this is at the peak of the economic production, peak. Then, so all the time it won't be like that. Then we have seen in the developed countries, we have seen very clearly. So this may come down. We call it recession. What happened in recession? Yes, the production will come down. The growth rate will get reduced. Here the growth rate is higher. Here the growth rate is reduced. And after that one, I am raising this one. And after that one, it may get again going up. It may get again. So what is that? This is a recession. Here the growth rate is reducing, and then again it will go. This is a longer period. We call it recovery. Again go to the peak, and again it may come down, and now it may come down below also. So below means what is that one? This is negative growth. Negative growth. Anybody who can tell me how do you call it? Economic term for this one? Anyone? Anyone can tell me? How do you call it? Anyone?
Bearish market.
Depression. We call it depression. Negative growth. So one is peak. That is the top production level. Economic growth is very higher. Economic growth is higher. So at that time, more industries will work. More number of people will be employed. Then after that, economic production will slow down. That is, economic growth will be slow down. At that time, what will happen? Some inefficient company may close, may get closed. Some inefficient company may get closed. But the efficient company can go on. Even if there is a recession, efficient companies can go on. Inefficient companies, industries may get closed. So if those are closed, unemployment, people will be unemployed. People will be unemployed. Right, then it will go on for some time and again it will pick up, going, that we call it recovery. So now during the recovery time, more number of industries will be operating, opened operating, more number of employees will be employed. It will go to the peak. Again, it will go to the peak. After that, it come down, recession. And it may continue, it may continue. It go as depression. So when the depression, what will happen? Still more number of companies will be closed, more number of industries will be closed, more number of people will be unemployed. So these things happen in those countries, developed countries. In our country also it is there, but we won't be able to see clearly. But in the case of developed countries, these are very clearly you can see. Efficient, eminent economists used to predict. If you take European Union or USA or Canada or even Australia, economists, eminent economists used to predict what they predict. Yeah, it is going to we are going to have a recession in the next year. They used to predict. So what is important for us, for Sri Lankan? We are exporting to those countries. Yes, you have to see that one. What is that one? Now, in the case of peak, yeah, more number of people will be working, employed, they have more money, so they have a better purchasing, they can purchase a lot of things. So at that time, we can market our product in those countries. When the recession is there, yes, their purchasing will get reduced. Their purchasing will get reduced. So we have to be careful, so we won't be able to export to those countries. Then again recovery, then again they do better purchases. Again recession, their purchase will get reduced. And during that is a depression, yeah, it will come still worse. So your customer, our corporate customer, is exporting to one of these companies, one of these countries. You have to look at whether it is conducive for him to produce items and export to these countries when there is a recession. So that also you have to look at. Right. So the economic environment, we have seen the high interest rates, how it will affect the fluctuating foreign exchange rate, how it will affect our corporate customers, and the inflation rate, how it affects. At the same time, we have seen this economic cycle. That also you have to consider. Then how price elastic are the industry's products and its raw material. Industry products and raw material, how price elastic, whether the quantity is reduced, when the price is going up, whether purchasing quantity will get reduced or it will remain same almost. That also you have to, depending on the product your customer is producing and exporting, and your customer is importing the raw material, how the price elastic you have to consider. And then the next item, social environment. Social environment. So in the social environment, you have to analyze whether the industry is inherently stable or affected positively or negatively by changes in social taste and fashions. Fashion go out as well as come in. Yeah, this is actually this the social environment is especially for the certain type of goods, jewelries, garments, a similar type of the social environment will affect. Now, a particular some common industry, so they have designed a particular dress, they have manufactured based on the they say they would have done some research. So this particular dress, particular style may people may like. Okay, they are produced. Then after some time, that fashion may change. That fashion may change. So once the fashion is gone, you won't be able to market your product. So fashions may come and it may go. I generally tell my example is bell bottom dresses. When we were in the universities that time, the bell bottom came in. So people were wearing. After 2-3 years, that fashion has gone. Bell bottom has gone. Thereafter, after another 5 or 6 years, the bell bottom has come again with some changes. So the fashion come and fashion may go. So your customer, corporate customer, has to look at that one. So if the fashion change, his production will be go obsolete. His production will go obsolete. He won't be able to sell. Similarly, jewelries. So in the case of gold jewelries, gold or silver, okay, the gold market or the silver market will be there. But there are fashion jewelries. Once they manufacture, if the fashion is changed, that jewelry cannot be used, cannot be purchased by people. So that also you have to look into in the social environment. And then another thing, cultural. So cultural also, yes, you have to now certain products in the cover or the packaging will have certain pictures. Some people won't purchase that one because they don't like that one. You may know that some religious things maybe they are in the packaging. So some people they may not like. So this is a cultural. So cultural one also you have to see your customers' products whether culturally acceptable, socially acceptable. You have to analyze. Then technological environment. You have to analyze. Production process also I have explained to you. So that is based on that one. The product is manufactured, production process. has there been fundamental change in cost structure of manufacturing product? Whether certain item is being produced following a particular production process, whether there is any change in the production process, thereby the cost of product may come down. So if it comes down, the person who is using the modern new production process will be benefited. The people who are using the old production process will get affected because their cost will be still high. Whereas the new technology comes and the production process simplified and the product is produced at lower price. Good example. Not now, this happened some time back. Paddy milling. Earlier, the paddy milling, to remove the outer cover husk, they were using the huller. The huller was made up of, to remove the outer cover, the husk, it was made up of iron rollers. In the paddy milling process, the huller, that is the machine removing the outer cover of the paddy, that is husk, is removed. They were using iron rollers. When the iron rollers are used, the rice grain will get affected, will broken into pieces. So damage is high. The damage was high. So the quality of the rice will be low. The producer of the iron, paddy mill owner, they have to sell the rice at lower price. Then the technological improvement came in. Rubber rollers were used instead of iron. Rubber rollers were used. So when they used the rubber rollers, the damage to the rice grain is less. Oh no damage. So they were able to sell at better price, good quality rice. So because of that one, all new mill owners, they were installing the huller machine with rubber rollers. And they were producing the rice and selling a good quality rice at better price. Whereas the earlier manufacturers, the rice millers who were using the hullers with iron rollers, they couldn't compete. They had to shut down. So then government has to intervene, government has to come in to rescue those people. Government was given some paddy mill modernization program, introduced paddy mill modernization program and gave credit facilities at concessional interest rate. This was done to rescue the paddy millers who were using the hullers with iron rollers. So this is technological improvement. So that also you have to see whether there are new technologies in place now. So production process, has there been a fundamental change in the cost structure of the manufacturing? Whether the product is obsolete. Yes, I have already told you. Whether the product is obsolete. Due to the technological change, the product can become as obsolete. Another person who came from Middle East country after working, he has come with a lot of money and he wanted to do some business here. So somebody has advised him to start an industry. He has started clips, wiring process. When they do housing wiring, they were using clips to keep the wire in place. He manufactured a lot. But the technology that has changed. Instead of putting the clips, they were using conduit pipes, conduiting pipes. So he couldn't sell. He couldn't sell. He saw his money, of course, he couldn't, because the product became obsolete due to the new technology. So this also you have to. So whether the product is obsolete, whether likely to supersede by a better new product, supersede by a new product, yes. Whether a new product is coming which may supersede the previous product. So in the recent past, we have seen enough. Earlier, an exporter or importer to communicate with his foreign buyer or exporter, telex was used, machine used by telex. And that has become outdated technologically. Instead of that one, the fax has come in. Fax machine has come in. Now the fax machine also has gone outdated. Only a few people are using the fax. Instead of that one, they are using email, computerized email, technological change. Another example, earlier when you go to an office, you can see the typewriters, Remington typewriters. Then what happened? Electronic typewriters came in. So the manual typewriters go now, technological change. Electronic typewriters came. And after that, computers came, and computer has take place. Computer has now all the typing work and everything done by the computers. So the typewriters, electronic typewriters also gone. And now desktop, tabletop computers. Now the tabletop computers have gone. Now the laptop computers, laptops, because of the technological change. Even in the banking, financial industry, one important product got obsolete because of the technology. That is traveler's check. Traveler's checks. Earlier, when we used to go abroad, we take traveler's checks. We take that one and change and get the money in those countries, and we use. But now, no traveler checks. Instead of that one, ATM card and credit card, ATM card and credit card, the travelers are taking. Technological change. Thomas Cook was a very reputed institution earlier. So they were having traveler checks. Actually, the Thomas Cook, that is that company, that institution is identified by their traveler checks. When you say traveler checks, it is Thomas Cook traveler check. And that also got bankrupt and closed down. And now again, under new management, they are coming up. Thomas Cook. Because of the traveler check technological change that was gone, because of that one, Thomas Cook also went. Now again, under new management, Thomas Cook is coming. So these are the technological environment you have to study and you have to analyze in regard to your customer, corporate customer. So these are some examples. Technological environment. Then ecological environment. Ecological environment. I have already told you, ecology means flora, fauna, and then physical. That is soil, water, air. Now, whether this industry is getting affected by these ecological changes. What is the relationship between this company, this industry with the ecology? With the ecology. Whether the ecology gets affected by this industry, then there are so many problems. There may be cases the company has to face, the corporate has to face. So you have to study very carefully the relationship between this company, this corporate, with the ecology, whether ecology is getting affected. A good example, in India, the textile factories, they produce textiles, fabrics, and send them for coloring, dyeing, send them for dyeing, coloring. So the chemicals are used to dye these fabrics. So there are separate companies. They are doing fabric dyeing, coloring. So to them, the fabric manufacturers, they send their fabric after manufacturing, they send for them to get it colored or dyed. Now these dyeing companies, what they have done using the machineries, tanks and everything, after doing the dyeing, they allow the water, wastewater, to go out. This water went and polluted the surrounding, polluted the lakes, polluted the ponds, polluted the rivers, polluted the waterways, everything get polluted. So those water resources were used by the people and the animal for washing, bathing, and even drinking purposes. So when those waterways got affected, they couldn't use it. So there, of course, there is a facility in the legal system. In the public interest, someone can file a case in a court of law. In the public interest, they can file a case. So somebody has filed the case. This has happened in a court. They have filed the case. Then what happened? Court heard the case. And then they have decided, they gave the judgment to those dyeing companies, fabric coloring or dyeing companies. You must, and they ordered for them to close. So coloring companies were closed and told, you must have to treat this wastewater after using. You must treat and make it as clean, and then you have to allow to go out. Until such time, your factory will be closed. And they gave 6 months time for this purpose. And they also said you can obtain bank loans, install the necessary machineries, treat this wastewater and make it clean, and then allow. Okay. And some companies, they borrowed from the bank and they installed the machineries and they made the judgment. What the judgment was told, they have done it. Whereas some companies, they didn't do. Again, the court has taken up this case. See who have done it, who have not done it. In the case of the companies who have not done it, the court gave the order to demolish those factories, to demolish. And the government officials, they have gone with the JCB machineries and everything, and those the companies, the factories which have not adhered to the order of the court, destroyed. If you would have given a credit facility for some of those factories, what is your position? The loan may go bad. It may be a NPA facility. So you have to analyze how this is the ecological environment. You have to analyze. The same thing happened in our country also, in Gambahar district. Maybe you would have seen in papers some time back. And 2 people died also. After the forces, they used the weapon, some 2 or 3 people died. The similar situation. Environment pollution caused by a gloves making company, factory, rubber gloves making company. Same thing happened even with the anchor company, Ontario, their milk processing place. And they also allow the wastewater to go out and pollute the environment. People protested After that, they have corrected themselves. This has happened. I think the same thing has happened with the Coca-Cola company also. So these are the things. They are multi-million companies, so they can pay, but some companies they can't. They have to make a big compensation. So you have to analyze very carefully this environment. So environmental pollution, you have to think about the environmental pollution, how to control this environmental pollution. There can be air pollution, bad smell, maybe a paddy milling, parboiled paddy milling, steaming. There may be air pollution, maybe there. Yes, you have to think about it. Water pollution, which I have told you now, my example. There may be water pollution. There may be noise pollution. Big sawmill operation. The machines are working heavily. Big noise pollution. Yes, all these things you have to look at. Air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution. Yes. And in this case, approval from the environmental authority is a must. There is an environmental authority of Sri Lanka. So those industries should obtain their approval. So this is ecological environment you have to analyze. Then the legal environment. The legal environment. So companies in certain industry exposed to lawsuits. Certain industries, they have to face some legal cases. They have to face some legal cases. One is product liability claims. Product liability claim. Maybe the pharmaceutical company. If your corporate is a pharmaceutical company manufacturing the medicines, sometimes because of the poor quality of the pharmaceutical item medicine they produce, some user can file a case. If it is proved, then your corporate customer has to pay a big amount of money. There is an example, the Pfizer company. Now they are producing this COVID-19 vaccine also. Pfizer company, the world's largest pharmaceutical item manufacturing company, Pfizer, German-based. So they have produced a medicine. The depression, again, the depression. This is an abnormal medical condition, depression, where the people just thinking and lethargic and they were thinking and doing nothing and waiting, that type of thing, depression. So they have produced a medicine. Again, the depression. So that was produced the market, it was here. Now, any medicine will have a side effect also. There are good things as well as there are side effects. The medicine they produced for this depression had a side effect that medicine, when they are using, a patient is using, that create a tendency to commit suicide. One person was using this medicine, and then after some time of use, he got himself committed to suicide. He committed to suicide. Right. His wife came to know this. This medicine has this side effect, tendency to commit suicide. She filed a case against Pfizer. So it is the reputation risk to the Pfizer. Reputation also, yes. Internationally well famous, reputed company. So they have produced a medicine with this tendency, side effect. She has filed a case. So Pfizer, that international court, they can't file this case. Then what happened? They negotiated with this lady. They made a big amount of money and make her to withdraw the case. She also thought better lump sum, better money is better than the husband. So accepted that and withdrew the case. So this is another example. Cases that certain companies, production companies can face legal cases. So one is product liability claims, pharmaceutical companies. Similarly, passenger liability claims. So passengers can file case, especially in the case of airlines. Passengers can file cases in the case of airline. Then pollution claims. Yeah, pollution claim. The chemical company. What I have told you now, explained to you. In India, this happened in South India, Tirupur. Tirupur is the place that is famous for the fabric dyeing, for the famous for fabric dyeing, Tirupur in South India. So this is chemical claim, chemical company. This is similarly what happened in Gambaha district. Yeah, that is. So pollution claim, pollution claims. The company can face pollution claim. Then employee death and accident claims. Accident claim. I have told you certain industries are accident prone. Certain industries are accident prone. What happened? When the worker is working on the machinery, sometimes they may lose their body parts. So ultimately, then the family members of that affected person can file the case against the company. The company has to pay compensation, claim. They have to pay the claims, compensation. So this also you have to think about it when you do it. But the only thing, this type of claims, this type of problem can be mitigated through the insurance. The insurance companies are accepting, yes, insurance in this regard to these things, which I explained to you. So this is the first, that is environment analysis. This is the environment analysis. Pestle analysis. So you will be doing the pestle analysis in respect of your corporate customer. So you have to do it in a systematic way. Right. Now, the other element in the corporate credit evaluation, industry evaluation. Industry evaluation. Industry evaluation. So first, of course, you have to identify the industry. First, you have to identify the industry. Now, certain industries will have, actually all industries will have their own strength and weaknesses. All industries will have their own strength and weaknesses. So these strengths and weaknesses will reflect in the companies operating within the industry. So you have to analyze the geographical nature of the boundary of the company which is operating. Then the supply chain. So when you do the industry analysis, one important thing is the supply chain. What is the supply chain? It is given in the handout. It is there. So in the supply chain, one raw material supplier from their intermediate processor then the manufacturer then the wholesaler, then the retailer, and finally end user. This is the supply chain. You take any industry, there is a supply chain. Any industry which is manufacturing the item, you take any industry, they have their own supply chain. Now you are looking at the industry evaluation. So when you do the industry evaluation, the credit officer has to look at the supply chain. How is the supply chain? Each industry, each manufacturing process, there is a supply chain. That is raw material. So the industry uses the raw material. So somebody has to supply the raw material supplier. And then it comes to an intermediate processor. And then it is come to the manufacturer. It's the proper person doing the manufacturing. From the manufacturing, it comes to the wholesaler, and then the retailer, and finally the end user, you and me. We are using end user. So we take an example, furniture, timber furniture manufacturing, wooden furniture manufacturing as an example we take. Raw material supply. Who is the raw material supplier? Who supply the timber? He got the permission from the government to cut the trees, or he may have his own trees, teak timber or like that. So with the government permission, he cut and put it in the sawmill, cutting into various pieces and planks and cutting. He is the supplier of the timber. He is the supplier of the timber. In the case of wooden furniture manufacturing, see, cut the trees and supply. Raw material supply. So the supply chain starts from him. Then it comes to the intermediate processor. He is the person who is having the sawmill. He is the person who is having the sawmill. So in the sawmill, he purchased this timber, wooden timber, and cut into pieces and planks and everything. Intermediate process. After that one, he supplied to the manufacturer of the wooden furniture. So this man manufactures the chairs and table, beds, various items. He is manufacturer. After manufacturing, he is given to the wholesaler. He will sell on wholesale. He will buy from the manufacturer, sell in wholesale. And from him, the retailer will buy. And from the retailer, the normal person, he will buy. The end user will buy. So this is the example for a supply chain I have given you as a wooden furniture manufacturing process. This is a supply chain. So you must say in whatever the industry, whatever the manufacturing process, industry, there is going to be a supply chain. You have to identify the supply chain. Footwear industry, yeah, there will be a supply chain. From the raw material, maybe rubber items or various items which are used to manufacture the footwear industry, yeah, there's a supply chain. There's a food industry, there's a supply chain. Even there's a medical manufacturing process, there's a supply chain. You take garment factory, there's a supply chain. So any industry, there's a supply chain. Right. Now, so this is the supply chain. So here, this each person or section is in different levels. Originally, actually the basic one, the raw material supplier, that is one level. Then the next level is the intermediate processor. The next level is the manufacturer. Next level is the wholesaler. Next level is the retailer. Next level, the final one, is the end user. Okay, now the manufacturer thinks, I am buying the planks and other things needed for me to make the wooden furniture from this intermediate processor. I am paying him a lot of money. If I have my own intermediate processing, that is, if I have my own sawmill, I can buy the raw material directly from the raw material supplier and I can manufacture. Thereby, I can reduce the cost of production of my manufacturing process because I will have my own intermediate processing. If I am buying from the intermediate processor, and currently I am doing it, I am paying him, even his profit also going to him. For his profit also I am paying. If I have my own intermediate processing, then that profit will come to me. Then what is he doing? He is going backward and establishing his own intermediate processing factory. Sawmill he is establishing. This we call integration. Integration. The meaning of integration is in the supply chain, from one level, expanding it to the next level. Expanding the activity from one level to the next level. That is integration. Here, what is happening is going backward. From the manufacturing, he is expanding to intermediate processing. So we call it backward integration. Backward integration. So when you do it this way, we call it backward integration. Similarly, the manufacturer thinks, I am selling my product to this wholesaler. He is making profit by selling my products. Instead of that one, if I establish my own wholesale point, if I establish my own wholesale point, then what I can earn that profit also. So what is he doing? He is establishing his own wholesale point, wholesale activity. From this level, he is expanding to the next level, wholesaling. So this is going forward. So we will call it as forward integration. Forward integration. So he can do backward integration, he can do forward integration. Both jointly we call it as vertical integration. Vertical integration. So this is called as vertical. So what is the meaning of vertical integration? In the supply chain, from one level of operation to expanding to the next level of operation is called as vertical integration. If he goes backward, it is called backward integration. If he go forward, forward integration. So by doing this integration, what is happening? That the person who is integrating is earning more profit. And here also by going backward, intermediate processing, he earned profit. Here also by going forward, he earned that profit also, wholesale profit as well as intermediate processor profit. The manufacturer is earning, he is getting more profit. So in that case, if he gets more profit, what he can do in the market, he can dictate. Even he can reduce the price because he's getting more profit. Then he will have a competitive advantage in the industry. He is going to decide the price factor. He will decide. He can reduce the price because he's getting more profit. So he can decide. So he will have a competitive advantage than his competitors who are not integrating. So that's the thing. So your customer, whether he is in integrated activities, if he is in the integrated activities, yeah, he is in a well position in the industry. He can dictate the prices of his product. Others can't compete because he's getting more profit because of his integration. Whereas others, they haven't integrated, so they are getting low profit when compared to him. So this is integration. This is integration. Similarly, another one. So this is vertical integration. Now, another one. This manufacturer now he is operating in Colombo, Moratuva. That is wooden manufacturer. He is expanding into candy. He is expanding to candy. This operation he is expanding. The manufacturing operation he is expanding to candy. Here also he is expanding to maybe from Moratuva, this is Moratuva, expanding to candy, Anuradhapura. What is he doing? At the same level. At the same level, expanding the operation, expanding in the same level to various areas. In this example, from Moratuva, he is expanding to Anuradhapura, he is expanding to candy. This was also integration. This integration is called as horizontal integration. This is called as horizontal integration. So this also expanding the level of operation at the same level to other areas, horizontal operation. By doing this also, he will get more profit. He will get more. So the profits, that is horizontal integration, vertical integration, when a company is doing, he will get more profit. So when he get more profit, he can decide what price. He can even reduce the price, which others can't compete with him. So he will have a competitive advantage by going through this integration process. The company which is integrated either horizontally or vertically or both ways will have a competitive advantage than these competitors. So when you are doing the industry evaluation, when you are evaluating your customer's credit requirement, you must see whether he has. So then you know, yeah, he will have a better competitive advantage in the industry than his competitors. Right. So this is one industry evaluation, supply chain, and see whether your customer is integrated. Your customer is integrated. Then when you do your industry evaluation, other important thing, that is competitiveness of the industry. I am raising this. These are all in your handout. Competitiveness of the industry. Next one, competitiveness of the industry. So one way the competitiveness of the industry we have seen through the supply chain, whether your customer is integrated, thereby whether he is competitive. Then there is another analysis you have to do to see the industry outlook, to see the industry outlook, the industry competitiveness. Actually, now the second pillar or second important element we are analyzing the industry evaluation, that is industry outlook. We are analyzing the industry outlook. Industry competitiveness. So we are analyzing industry outlook, industry competitiveness to see the competition within the industry. To see the competition within the industry. So, industry outlook, industry competitiveness, to see competition within the industry. For that one you are doing, one is supply chain. Supply chain and their integration you are analyzing. The integration, whether it is horizontal or vertical or both. Analyze to see the competition within the industry. This is very important when you are doing. It is very important analyzing competition within the industry. And then another one you are analyzing, another analysis, you are doing another analysis to see the competition with the industry. That is Michael Porter's Michael Porter's 5 forces of competition. Michael Porter's 5 forces of competition. We are going to analyze Michael Porter's 5 forces of competition. We are going to do it now. So thereby, so why competition? Why you have to see the competition within the industry? Why? I am raising this. Why the competition? You have to analyze. Competition within the industry. It may be stiff competition. There may be moderate competition. There may be low competition. To see how is the competition within the industry, whether there is a very strong, stiff competition, or the competition is very moderate, or competition is very low. Why is that? Because if the competition is stiff, so there are many companies operating within the industry. So we are looking at competition within a particular industry. So there are many companies may operate. Many companies. Operate within the industry. So when the competition is very stiff, what will happen? Each company will get only a small amount of profit. When the company is very stiff, each company will get very small amount of profit because all one will work to get the profit. The efficient and effective company will get more profit. Efficient and effective company will make more profit. Others will get small profit. So when the competition is high, if the number of companies operating in the industry is more, the competition is very high, when each company will get only small amount of profit when compared to other type of competition. So when they get small amount of profit, their repayment capacity also will be limited. Sometimes that may be the facility you are granting may get non-performing when the competition is within the industry is very high. So you have to see whether the competition within the industry is high. You have to evaluate. If it is high, the company for which you are granting the facility also may get low amount of profit, and we have to be very careful to recover the facility because sometimes there may be default as they are getting low profit because the company operating in the industry where the competition is very high. On the other hand, when the competition is moderate, what will happen? Yeah, company will get, the company is operating the industry, they may get more profit. Then when the competition is high, these people will get, this company will get. So your repayment also will be somewhat better. When the competition is low, like our mobile phone industry, only a few companies are operating. They are the effective and efficient companies making more profit. So when the competition is low, where the company is operating within the industry, the number is low, they will get more profit. Since they are getting more profit, they will be able to pay their loans comfortably. So for that purpose, you have to see how is the competition within the industry, whether it is stiff or moderate or low. If it is low, then you can be happy. Yes, you can be sure that your loan will be repaid comfortably. If it is moderate also, yes, you can be still happy. Yeah, they will get some profit. But when the competition is very high, you have to be more careful because your customer also may get, corporate customer also may get very meager, very small amount of profit. With that one, they have to repay. So the competition within the industry, you have to analyze. So one way of analyzing was the integration which we have done. Now there is another one, competitiveness of the industry by Professor Michael Porter's 5 competitive forces. 5 competitive forces. We will see that one. Now the time is 10:22. We will meet by about 10:40. 22. Yeah, we will meet by 10:40. We have a break. We will meet by 10:40. We resume now. We start. So integration we have completed. Now the competitiveness of the industry competitiveness, which we are studying now. First, of course, environmental. Then the industry outlook, which is we are doing now. I just want to ask you one thing before this one. Michael Porter's competitive force. We have seen integration, vertical and horizontal integration. We have seen integration. In Sri Lanka, could you please name 1 or 2 companies which are integrated? Somebody? So if you understand the meaning of integration, can you mention 1 or 2 or 3 companies which are integrated, vertically integrated, horizontally integrated, and both ways, vertically and horizontally integrated companies? Whether anyone can tell me? Participants? If you understand the meaning of integration, practically some companies which are integrated companies, anybody can tell me? Mr. Duminda Jayawardena? Mr. Duminda Jayawardena? Can you tell me a company which is integrated? No? Whether Mr. Duminda Jayawardena is there? Then Miss Dulika Pereira? Miss Dulika Pereira? Can you tell me a company in Sri Lanka, integrated company? No one? You don't understand, or the meaning of integration? If you understand, you must tell me some companies which are integrated. Some companies in Sri Lanka which are integrated. Mr. Mahesh Pushpakumar, can you tell me? No? So you didn't follow? You didn't understand, or what is the position? Hmm? Okay, anyway, a good example now. Apico, the both ways integrated. Horizontally also they have integrated at various places. They have their branches. Supermarket is there. Apico supermarket is there, horizontally integrated. And vertically also integrated. They are manufacturing so many items. And they are selling through their supermarkets. That is vertical integration. So one example is Apico. Another example, Damro. Damro is another good example. Vertically integrated. They are manufacturing so many items vertically, and they are selling through their showrooms, wholesale points, and the wholesale points and the showroom also expanded all over Sri Lanka. So vertically also integrated, horizontally also integrated, Apico. Then Food City, Cargill's Food City, horizontally they are well integrated. Vertically also they are integrated. They are manufacturing so many items, selling through their Food City supermarkets. If you go to Food City supermarket and examine their shelves, there's a good number of products they are manufacturing, they are packaging, they are manufacturing, especially the meat items. They have a very big modern meat processing unit, meat processing factory at Jayala. So they are processing and marketing through their supermarket. And the supermarkets also widely, I mean, all over Sri Lanka expanded, integrated. Prima is another example, integrated, vertically as well as horizontally integrated. There's so many companies. You should be able to identify and tell. Right, that is integration. Vertical integration, horizontal integration. Right. Now the competitiveness of the industry. So the industry competitiveness, outlook of the industry, there of course we are examining competition of the industry, competition within the industry. I told you why we are examining. If the competition within the industry is stiff, there are many number of companies, they will fight each other to get their profit. They will fight. So stiff competition. They will fight each other. Stiff competition to get their profit. So they all will get some better company, efficient and effective and efficient companies. They will get more profit within that. Though the competition is stiff, they will get a better portion from the profit. Others get maybe a small amount of profit. So in that case, their repayment may be, we have to be very careful. When we are doing the analysis, we have to be very careful. In the case of moderate, yes, all will get moderate profit. They are also the efficient and effective company will get a bigger slice of the profit. And when there is low competition, only few companies are operating, low competition, so they will get, they are also the better company. Efficient and effective company will get a bigger slice of the profit. Others also will get. So there the repayment will be good. So because of that one, the competitiveness of the industry we analyze. Right. Now Professor Michael Porter, he put forward a theory of 5 competitive forces. 5 competitive forces. Yeah. What are those 5 competitive forces? New entrants, internal rivalry, buyer's power, supplier's power, substitute product. There, of course, I have to tell you one thing. When we just say about competition, when a competition in a, say, footwear industry, competition within the footwear industry. So we may think competition, we may think competition is between Bata, Sinva, Samsung, like that, a few companies, and the other, provincial producers or district producers of footwear items. So competition among them. So we may generally think when we say about competition within the industry, the competition between or among those companies operating within the industry. If we take a biscuit industry, we may think, yeah, competition is due to the competition among Manji, Leyland, Manji, Maliban, like that, we may think. Okay. So we may think, in the case of biscuit industry, we may think competition means competition among the competition among Maliban, Manji, Leyland, Lucky Land, these producers, and maybe some district and provincial producers competition. But Michael Porter said, yeah, it is also there, but there are other forces also deciding the competition within the industry. So what are those forces? New entrants, internal rivalry, buyer's power, supplier's power, substitute product. These are the 5 forces deciding competition within an industry. So we had to consider all these 5 forces to decide how is the industry competition, how is the competition within the industry. For us to decide, we have to consider all these 5 forces. So this is the one, industry. So now in the industry, there is an internal rivalry. There is an internal rivalry. What is that? That is the one. In the case of biscuit industry, there is an internal rivalry that is among Manji, Maliban, Lucky Land, MAM, and the local producers, industry, district producers, provincial producers. This is the internal, among them the rivalry. This is one force deciding, this is one force deciding the competition within the industry. One force. Apart from that, there are other forces also. What are new entrants? So now some new companies may like to come into this biscuit industry. So that also will create a competition. When the new entrants, when they try to come, they also create competition, increase the competition within the industry. We call it threat of new entry. When there are new companies coming into this industry, so that will have a threat of new entry. that will enhance the competition within the industry. So first, of course, internal rivalry, which is already there, already companies within the industry, among them the rivalry, that is one force, and then the new entrants, that will create another force. They also increase. Then the suppliers of the raw material to the industry. So if the suppliers are few suppliers, then what will happen? The industry players, the producers, they try to purchase from these few suppliers. So suppliers will have a demand. They can demand. So that is, we call suppliers power. If there are few suppliers, that also will increase the competition within the industry, because the producers, all the producers within the industry, they have to buy their raw material from these few suppliers. So that will create another power. We call it suppliers power. That also will increase. If there are more suppliers, no problem. Yeah, from anybody, the industry players, they can buy their raw material from any supplier, because there are more and more suppliers. So where the suppliers power is low. When the suppliers power is low, the industry competition also will be, because of the suppliers power, it will be reduced. Similarly, on the other hand, buyers. When there are few buyers of this industry product, all these players, all these producers within the industry, they will try to sell their product to those few buyers. So in that case, buyers will have a demand. They can decide, they can have the power. They have the power. On the other hand, if there are more buyers, then the industry producers can sell their product to any buyers. So where the buyer's power will be low. If the buyer's power is low, industry competition also will be low. Then the other one, substitute for this product, for this industry product. If there are substitute, maybe various other eatable, those are substitute for this industry product. In the case of, we are taking as a biscuit as the industry, so there may be various other products. So if the substitutes are there, then threat of substitution, if the new substitutes are coming, then what will happen? Then the industry, the product, their demand will be low. So threat of substitution will increase the competition. Threat of substitution. If there is no substitute or less number of substitute, then the threat of substitution will be low. If the threat of substitution is low, then the competition also will be low. So these are the 5 forces put forward by the Professor Michael Porter. He has put forward this theory. Michael Porter's 5. So these 5 forces collectively decide how is the competition within the industry, whether the industry competition is high or moderate or low. The 5 forces. Michael Porter's 5. So when you do the analysis, you must take the particular company, your corporate company. For them, you are doing the analysis. For the credit request, you are doing the credit analysis. Then that particular company, where they are operating, what is the industry. So you must analyze the industry competition by using, earlier as I told you about the supply chain analysis, and then this 5 competitive forces analysis. You must see how is the competition within the particular industry where your corporate customer is operating. If the competition is very stiff, very high, then of course, yes, profit getting, the company is getting the profit, it will be low. Then their repayment ability may get affected. So you have to examine. So Michael Porter's 5 competitive forces to see the competition within the industry. See the competition within the industry. Okay, now, so these are the 5 forces. Now, there are some factors affect the five forces. Affect these five forces. Some other factors can affect these five forces. So what will happen? So those other factors affecting these five forces, one by one, each force indirectly affect the industry competition also. So there are some factors which are affecting each of these five forces can indirectly affect the industry competition, whether it will enhance the competition or reduce the competition. We look at entry barriers to new entrants. We have seen the new entrants, threat of new entrants will enhance the competition within the industry. Just now we have seen new entrants, threat of new entrants will enhance the competition within the industry. Oh, there are some factors. Entry barriers. There are barriers to the entry. So there are barriers to the entry. So these entry barriers will indirectly affect the competition within the industry. What they will do, they are the barriers for the entry. So new entry is not possible. Since the new entry is not coming, they will prevent the increasing competition. So there are some factors. Economies of scale, then product differentiation, capital requirement, switching cost, distribution channel, cost that is independent of scale, government policy, expected retaliation. So these are the factors prevent the new entrants coming into the industry. So we call it entry barriers. So they are the entry barriers. So because of these entry barriers, if there are entry barriers that will indirectly prevent the competition within the industry, because these entry barriers prevent the new entrant. Since the new entrants are not coming into the industry, they reduce the competition. So one is economies of scale. So economies of scale mean when a company is producing a product, there are direct cost and indirect cost. So direct cost, the indirect cost is the fixed cost that will be there. When they increase the number of products, the fixed cost will get distributed. And at one point, they have coming to the maximum position. So over a period of time only this happened. So companies, they have started long time back, they have come to the economies of scale. They have come to the maximum production where economies of scale is playing. Now, because of that one, they can sell their product at lower price. Because of the economies of scale, companies which have started their operation some time back, now they have come to the economies of scale level, so they can offer their product at a lower price. When a new company comes, they didn't achieve their economies of scale. Their fixed cost will be still high. So they have to sell at higher price compared to the companies which have achieved their economies of scale. So what will happen? The companies which are having the economies of scale are in a better advantage. They can sell their product at low price. So this new company, they won't compete with them. So they think if we go there into this industry, there are companies which have achieved their economies of scale. So we won't be able to compete with them. We have to put higher price. So people won't buy our product. So better not to go into the industry. It is an this is an entry barrier to the new entrant. So this will happen, entry barrier. So since there is no entry, the competition will remains as it is. If the new company is coming into this one, then the competition will increase. Then other one, product differentiation. When we say product differentiation, now better example is soaps. bathroom soaps. There are so many products. Lux soap, velvet soap, sandalwood soaps, so many products. So people have their preferences. And because of the product differentiation, the product, example, a Lux soap, they have differentiate, Ola soap, bathroom soap, Ola bathroom soap, but some soap they have differentiated from the others by means of better packing, better smell, better quality. Like that way, they have differentiated from. So because of this product differentiation, people have loyalty for that product. See, this is already there. Lux soap has differentiated from the other soaps already. They are in the market. They have the loyal customers. So product loyalty will be there. So that's an advantage for the Lux soap. When a new producer comes in the bathroom soap manufacturing, they won't have the product differentiation. So their sales will be low. Whereas the Lux soap, which have already differentiated the product, they have a better sale. So this new company may think, oh, Lux soap is already there. Their product is differentiated. People are buying those soap. So our coming won't help us. So they will prevent, they won't stay back without entering into the industry. So this is another entry barrier. Since this new entrant who wanted to come into the industry not coming, so it won't increase the competition within the industry. Then the capital requirement. Yeah. Some industries need a very big capital investment. Very big capital investment. An example, paddy milling. Paddy milling, the so many different type of machineries they need. Apart from that, they must have a very big amount of working capital. They must have, so over 2,000 million for a moderate paddy milling. A modern paddy milling, they need about 2,000 million rupees. So because of that, new, even this happened in Sri Lanka, already there are 7 or 8 big millers, Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa area. Another big corporate also wanted to come into this one. Then they thought, they refrained from coming into this industry. They thought a big investment. So even if we put that one, our productivity is not, we are not selling, then it is a problem. They didn't come. So big investment in industry, if they need a big capital investment, then that is also going to be a entry barrier. Similarly, the switching cost. Switching cost mean, what is the switching cost? That is a good example. As I can tell you an example. A person is using a particular product. Person is using a particular product now. So another new product is coming. So he will analyze from this product, if I am changing to the new product, what will happen to me? There may be monetary and non-monetary, either benefit or disadvantages or disadvantages. He will compare both. He is using a one particular product now. Another product is also coming, new product is coming into the market. So if he, before switching to the new product, he will examine. By switching, whether I have any benefits or advantages or disadvantages. So if the disadvantages are more, he won't switch. He won't change from the present product to new product. So this is switching cost. So if the switching cost is high, switching cost can be monetary or non-monetary. Switching cost can be monetary or non-monetary. Another example, dialogue. I am using dialogue. Then actually Airtel, yes. So about few years back this happened. Airtel came in. So when they come, so it was very attractive advertisement and everything. Yes. So I also wanted to change from dialogue to Airtel. Then I compared. What will happen if I change? What will happen? Okay, one, I have to inform. One thing, of course, I have already paid money and got the dialogue connection. So that will go. And I have to pay again to the Airtel to get the connection. I have to pay. Yeah, that is one is. Then there is monetary disadvantages there. Then I have to inform all my friends and relations and others. I have changed my number. Then that also will take time and cost. Yeah, monetary as well as non-monetary disadvantages will be there, cost will be there. Then sometime for some important person, I didn't inform my new number. So he may try my earlier dial-up number. Then there will be a recording. Make a Visandi Kara at that. So he may think this fellow didn't pay his money because of that one dial-up gets disconnected. But actually, I have changed from dial-up to, in case I would have changed from dial-up to Airtel. Then I thought, yes, that also displays to me. This is a non-monetary this cost. This is a non-monetary cost. So later I decided, no, not to change to any other new operators. I better to continue with the dialogue. I am still continuing. So switching cost. This is switching cost. Monetary as well as. So if the switching cost is high, people won't switch on from one product to another product. So these are the entry barriers. So these entry barriers will prevent a new entrant coming into this industry. Since the new entrant is coming, no threat of new entry is not there. Since the new threat of new entry is not there, the competition won't get increased or enhanced. So there are other items: distribution channel, cost independent of sale, government policy, expected retaliation. So these are the other factors which you have to study on your own. So if you go to the internet, put this Michael Porter's 5 forces of competition, there will be so many websites giving the details and all these things. So you can study on your own. And if I am explaining everything, it will take a lot of time. So this, of course, you have to do on your own. Entry barriers to the new entrant. Few organizations. Example I have explained to you. As a sample I have explained to you. So you have to study on your own. And I must tell this Michael Porter's 5 forces of competition. Generally, it comes in the questions. It comes as a question. So you better study on your own. Other things I have done: economies of scale, product differentiation, capital requirement, switching cost, the balance, distribution channel, other thing you have to study. And there's another good website, Quick MBA. It says Quick MBA. So that also you can go to this Quick MBA website and then put Michael Porter. That gives a very good quick MBA. So there also you can get, and all management books. This is a management subject, so all management books gives. So you don't need to go in search of books, but through the internet you can get it. Then the factors affecting competitor rivalry, that is internal rivalry. I have told you there is an internal rivalry within the industry. As an example, I told you in the case of biscuit industry, this is Munchie, and then Maliban, then Lucky Land, MAM, and there are so many district producers, so many provincial producers. Yes. So this is factors affecting competitor rivalry. So these are the factors. So this also you have to study on your own. Then factors affecting buyer power. So these are the factors affecting the buyer power. So reducing the buyer power. So if the buyer power is high, competition within the industry is more. If the buyer power is low, competition within the industry will be low. So these are the factors affecting the buyer powers. So indirectly, not allowing the competition to increase. Industry competition, not allowing the industry competition to increase it, because these are the factors affecting the buyer's power. And then factors affecting the supplier's power. So this also indirectly not allowing the industry competition to increase. So factors affecting supplier's power and factors affecting substitute. So this also another one. So all these things you have to study on your own, and you have to use it when you do your industry evaluation. That is evaluating corporate credit evaluation. Other factors for consideration. So in regard to industry outlook, industry competition, there are some other factors you have to consider. One is industry. New, young, virgin, growing industries. New, young, growing, virgin industries. New, young, growing, virgin industries. So actually this means the new industries. There are new industries. So new industries will have, they can expand. They can expand it. New industries can expand. So when they expand, if the number of operators within the industry is limited, they will have more profit, and their income will get increased. When the industry is increasing, their income will get increasing. So sometime back, when the computer comes, the computer software production in Sri Lanka, it was a growing industry. So many companies came in and their income was expanding. Computer software production. So similarly, when a new industry is developed, it has a potential to expand. So when it is expanding, say market share, the companies operating within the industry, they will get better market share. When they have the better market share, their income also will increase, profit also will increase. So that also you have to consider when you do your analysis. On the other hand, mature industries, so they can expand. On the other hand, mature industries, their expansion is limited. So their income and then their profit also limited. So when you are giving a bigger amount of loan, you have to think. Then stability of the industry. How far the particular industry is stability? In certain cases, the stability may get affected. The industry stability may get affected. Actually, a better example, earlier, Sri Lankan cinema industry. Earlier, Sri Lankan cinema industry was very promising industry. But after the arrival of the foreign films, the Sri Lankan cinema industry got affected. But now again, it is coming back. So better example, similarly, you must see. Then the other factors in regard to industry, industrial peace. So within a particular industry, there should be industrial peace. If the industrial peace is not there within the industry, that is unrest, then again problem. Always strikes, non-working days, non-working. So the production will get affected, marketing will get affected, the income will get affected. So the profit also will get affected. Then the labor factors. So labor factors within the industry, you have to consider. How is the wage rates? Whether there may be strikes. Recently we have seen in the estate sector, tea industry, rubber industry, unrest. So industrial peace was not there, and the wage rates were lot of things argued. So these factors you have to consider about the industry analysis. When you do the industry analysis, these factors also you have to consider. So the industry. So first, of course, we have seen environmental analysis, then the industry analysis. These two analyses are common to the country. Environment analysis, yeah, country risk analysis. We call it there is the term country risk analysis. When you do a environmental analysis, it is also known as country risk analysis. And then the industry outlook analysis. This is also common. Where your corporate customer is operating within the industry. And third one, now evaluation of companies' competitive position. So we have seen the industry competition, industry outlook. We have examined the industry competition, whether it is high or moderate or low. Then where your customer is within the industry. Now you are going to analyze where your corporate customer is within the industry. If he is in the top position, that company can get a better profit. So they can pay you a loan easily, comfortably. If they are in the middle level or in the low level, they won't get much profit. Though they are in this industry, as they are within this, they are in a low level within the industry, they won't get much profit. So you have to be careful about the repayment. Okay, now, so evaluation of the company's competitive position. The third one, we are now only we have come to the company. Now only we have come to your corporate customers position. So that is corporate customers, that is companies, evaluation of the company's competitive position within the industry. This analysis indicates the company's competitive position within the industry. For that one, you will do a SWOT analysis. You will do a SWOT analysis. So where your customer within the industry. For that purpose, you do a SWOT analysis. Strength of the company. Weakness of the company. Strength of the company. Opportunity. Then opportunity. Then threat faced by the company. SWOT. SWOT. SWOT analysis. You have to do a SWOT analysis. Strength. Then weakness. Opportunity. Then threat of the company. Threat faced by the company. You have to do. So here the strength means internal to the company. Strength of the company, that is internal, which is already there. We call it already exist. Then weakness, that also internal to the company. Weakness of the company, internal of the company. That also already exist, already there. Then the opportunities, that is outside the company, external to the company. Contingent eventuality. Contingent means now it is there, it may go away. Now the opportunity is there, it may go away. Now the opportunity may not be there, it may come. So this is contingent eventuality. Possible and potential. It could be possible and potential. Contingent event. Similarly, threat, that also external. Contingent eventuality. The threat is there now, sometimes it may go away. No threat is there, but sometimes we may get it. So you have to do this SWOT analysis. Strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat. To see where your customer is within the industry. To see where your customer is within the industry, company's competitive position. SWOT analysis. So you have to do the SWOT analysis. You have to sit with your customer, corporate customer. So they are representative. You have to sit with him and do the SWOT analysis. The various questions you have to see. How is their strength? How is their weakness of the company, which are already there? And how about the opportunities they are having now? So how's the threat they are facing now? So now, there are certain questions we have given as a sample question, but these are the questions, not actually, these questions you no need to ask from the customer. This is for you to guide. You must know what is strength, what is weakness, what is opportunity, what is threat. For you to know, these are some sample questions we are giving. But depending on the customer, their nature of industry, the type and everything, you must ask various questions to find out what are their strengths, to find out what are their weaknesses. So to find out what are their strengths, then you must use it to enhance the strength. And similarly, when you find out what are their weaknesses, you must find a way to reduce those weaknesses. And then by asking questions, what are the opportunities they have? So you must find ways to grab that opportunity for that company. And similarly, when you find out the threats faced by this company, how to avoid this threat, how to overcome this threat, you have to. So one question, does the company have a low cost structure? Does the company have a low cost structure? Whether this company is having a low cost structure, their production cost is low. If the answer is good, answer is yes, that is internal, already existing, the company is having a low cost structure. They are producing their product at a low cost. It is a strength. It is a strength of the company. Then, is it product differentiated? So this is also already in it. Already in it. Their products are differentiated. If the answer is yes, their product is differentiated. So it is a better thing. It is a strength. Does it have efficient and effective distribution channel? Whether this company have a distribution channel to sell their product, effective and efficient distribution channel. This is also internal. Distribution channel may be outside, but it is for the company. It is already there. They have established their efficient and effective distribution channel. So it is a strength. So similarly, the various questions you must ask and find the answers and decide what are the company's strengths. So you must enhance it. You must provide facilities to enhance the strength and find out what are their weaknesses to reduce their weaknesses. Similarly, what are the opportunities they have? So quickly grab the opportunity. And what are the threats they are having? How to avoid those threats? You have to find out by asking various questions, by sitting and discussing with the customer. So all these questions as a sample I have given, you have to read it and find out the answer. Now, the banker should remember the last one. The banker should remember that he is not running the industry. So he is not running or he is not yet operating within the industry. He is the banker. He is evaluating it. He want to provide, if everything is okay, he will provide credit facility. Rather, his job is one of the observer or analyst. Hence, the need to discuss observation with the customer as mentioned above and find out. So when he totally taps the final one, so he knows where this company within the industry, whether it is in the topmost position or the medium level or the low level position. So based on that one, the credit officer has to make the decision. Then the financial evaluation. So now the next evaluation, financial evaluation. You all would have done your financial module in this program, this diploma program. You have done your financial evaluation, financial module. So they are that is your financial statement analysis, then ratio analysis, all things you have done. So I am not going to do the financial evaluation. So you must use those financial module, what you have learned there in the financial module, to apply in this financial evaluation, in this credit evaluation of corporate credit. So here you have to apply what you have learned in your financial module in this one. Under financial evaluation, you have to apply that one. So a certain basic thing I will just tell you. When you do financial analysis, means you are analyzing the financial statement. You are analyzing the financial statement. Analyzing the financial statement. So the financial statement, now operating financial statement. Operating financial statement. Operating financial statement. What is operating financial statement? Now the present financial statement. The company is operating for last so many years. So the latest financial statement. When you say financial statement, three types of financial statement. One is the balance sheet. Then is a profit and loss statement. And third one, cash flow statement. So you will ask from your customer, corporate customer, the last 3 years. Last 3 years financial statement. Last 3 years financial statement. Last 3 years financial statement. Maybe now it is February. So they would have completed. Now it is 21. Financial statement. March 2020 up to, that is from April 2019 to March 2020. Then March 2019, April 2018. March 2018, April 2017. Yeah, you will ask these financial statements. April 2017 to April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, 12 months. April 2017 to March 2018. Then April 2018 to March 2019. And April 2019 to March 2020. This is the latest. So you will ask them audited or non-audited, unaudited, or draft. So we say audited, unaudited, draft. So meaning of audited means the financial statement have been prepared by the accountant of your corporate customer, then handed over to their auditors, chartered auditors. They will audit it, and then if they are satisfied, they will give their opinion and sign. That is audited financial statement. Audited financial statement. Financial statement have been prepared by the company accountant, handed over to the chartered auditors, and auditors have studied, examined the financial statement. Then finally, if they are satisfied, They may make amendments and whatever the thing they will do it, and finally they will give the opinion and sign. That is audited. Then unaudited. Company accountant, your corporate customers accountant prepare the financial statement, hand it over to the auditors. The auditors are studied. They may make amendments or whatever it is. They are studying, but not yet given the opinion and not yet signed. Not yet given the opinion, not yet given the sign, not yet signed the document. So that is unaudited. Then the draft. Company accountant has prepared the financial statement. That's all. It is not yet handed over to the not yet handed over to the auditors, and not yet auditors are not yet examined, not given the opinion, not signed. So it is just prepared by the company accountant. That is draft. So now you know the correctness of the financial statement is very high with the audited statement. The correctness of the financial statement very high with the audited, because that has been audited by the external auditors and given the opinion and signed. So there won't be any further amendment. The second one, unaudited. External chartered auditors have studied, but not yet given the opinion and not yet signed. That means there could be more amendments. There could be more corrections or more amendment to the financial statement. And the other one, yes. So this is more reliable. Audited and unaudited is less reliable. Still, there could be amendment, and the draft there could be more amendment. So that's what. So when you do your analysis, so you will mention this is audited financial statement, this is unaudited, this is draft. You have to mention. So from there, you know which is more acceptable, more correctness is more acceptable for that purpose. So this is financial statement. You are doing it. So here you will do all the analysis and everything, and the ratio analysis. Do the ratio analysis. And the ratios, then you will interpret. When you get this ratio, what are the interpretation from this ratio? So that will give the company's financial position. Company's financial position by doing this ratio analysis. The ratio analysis, there is two types of ratio analysis. One is vertically, you are doing the ratio analysis. Another one, horizontally, you are doing the vertical analysis. You would have all studied under your financial module. So once you have done this one, so you are evaluating corporate customers' credit requirement, you are evaluating. There, of course, you are doing the financial statement, financial evaluation now. So first of all, you collect 3 years financial statement, do this analysis. You will first of all audited, unaudited draft, and then do the financial analysis, ratio analysis. You interpret the ratios and find out what are their financial position in regard to the interpretation based on the interpretation of the ratio. Then you have to do, this is operating financial statement. Now you have to go for projected financial statement. Projected financial statement. Projected financial statement. So based on this one, so here also you will prepare balance sheet, profit and loss, and then cash flow. You project based on this one, you assume your evaluation, there may be improvement or there may be deterioration. Based on that one, based on your decision, you will project for next 3 to 4 years, 3 to 5 years. 3 to 5 years you will project. So there also you will do the ratio analysis. Based on the projection, you will do the ratio analysis. Projected ratio analysis. Projected ratio analysis. You will do. So then you will interpret it. How is their profitability? How is their liquidity? How is their debt servicing cover ratios? All these things you will based on your analysis. So this is projected financial statement is based on the operating financial statement which is currently available. Based on that one, you will project. So if they are expanding with your loan facility, you provide with the expansion. After providing this credit facility, they will expand it, their production will increase, marketing will increase, income will increase, even the expenses also will increase, then you will do it. So this is financial evaluation. By that one, you will find out how the financial position of this company at present, and in case if we are granting the facility, how is the company's financial position in future. You have to do that analysis. Then the management evaluation. This is very important because the company is run by the management. So the management should be sound, effective and efficient. The management should be effective and efficient. Then only the company can improve. So basis of management. So you to do the management. So what is the basis for your management assessment? What is the basis? Who are the management people? Who are the management people? Then where are they now? And where do they want to go? Do they have a good plan to get where they want to go? Are they capable of executing the plan? So who are the management people? So description about all these things about the management team. And where are they now in the industry competition? Where are they now? They are at a low place or middle or higher place. Competitiveness within the industry. Where are they now? Do they have and where they are now and where they do want to go? So what they by obtaining this credit facility, what do they want to do? Where they want to go? From low level of competition to go to the high level of competition or competitive position. From the low level of competitive position, whether they want to go to the moderate level of competitive position or higher level of competitive position, you have to. Do they have a plan? So do they have a corporate plan to achieve their objective? And not only that one, can they execute it? They can have a lovely plan, but they must have the people to execute the plan as anticipated. You have to judge. You have to judge. As a credit officer, you are evaluating the corporate credit evaluation. You have to judge. It calls for superior interpersonal skill in questioning, listening, and forming an opinion. So you have to do this management evaluation by sitting with the management people, and you have to do it. Who are they? Who are these management people? What is their relevant experience? Breadth and depth of the management, well-balanced management team. Well-balanced management team in the sense, the production should be managed by a suitable production manager. Marketing should be managed by a suitable marketing manager. Human resources should be managed by a suitable human resource manager. Administration by a administration manager. So relevant position by the relevant people. And for that one, they must have qualification and the experience. The management team, who are they? They must have the relevant qualification and the experience to match their position. how the company's management faces with the risk. Yeah. When the risk comes, how are they prepared to face the risk? Are they prepared to take the suitable remedy action? How good the management is at planning budget? These are the management functions. So they must have a proper management function. So they should be capable of doing those management functions. How good the management is at planning, budgeting, and control. So where are they now and where do they want to go? So in the competitive position, where are they now? Where they do want to go? Where are they now? Their competitive position. Management's own perspective of its position. Why they are in this position? They must know. They may be the high level of competitive position. In the competition, they may be at a high level or moderate level or maybe low level. And the management team should know why, how they are in this position. What is the reason? If they are in the low competitive position, what is the reason? They should understand management's own perspective of its position. Where do they want to go now? What do they want to do? Where do they want to go? Whether they want to maximizing shareholders' wealth, they want to increase the shareholders' wealth, or management overall vision statement. They must have the vision and statement, and its objective they should have. Do they have a good plan to get there? So they want to go somewhere from the low level of competitive position. They may want to go to the high level. So do they have a good, they can achieve through, they must have a good plan. Company's vision and objective they must have. Its future plan or strategies in terms of product research and development, production, marketing, human resource development, and management of finance. So they must have a realistic corporate plan where all these items should have been included. All these things: production research, product research, development, production, marketing, human resource development and management, finance. So all these things should have been included in the corporate plan. Are they capable of executing the plan? So they may have a beautiful plan, but the management team should be capable. It is depend on the plan and your assessment of the people concerned. So you are the person, credit officer, you are the person assessing. So it depends on you. If your assessment is wrong, everything is wrong. If the assessment is good, everything will be good. Your ability to judge is vital. So you are the person, credit officer or credit manager, you are the person judging. This management team is good, they will achieve what they are. If you are saying like that, yes, it is very vital. So your ability to judge is very, very vital. Then finally, loan structuring and collateral quality. If everything is okay, environmental assessment, industry assessment outlook, then industry competition analysis, competitive position of the company, financial analysis of the company, and then the management analysis. If everything is okay, then loan structuring and collateral quality. Loan structuring also very important. When you structure the loan as a package, you are going to provide the loan facilities as a package to the company, your corporate customer. So that is loan structuring. If the loan structuring is not good, then the company may fail. They won't achieve their targets. Your repayment may be bad, it will become bad. So loan structuring also very, very important. So when you structure investment, mode of financing, how much the customer's equity you will bring, how much loan you are going to grant, the debt and equity. That is investment. You will decide mode of financing, how the financing, how much you are going to give, bank is going to give, how much the customer will bring as his equity. Then package in the credit facility. So depending on the depending on the necessity of the venture, for what and what purpose they want the facility. So it is like you having a lot of credit facilities. We have learned earlier. There are so many credit facilities we are granting to our customer. Also, the suitable credit facility you have to provide. You must take the suitable credit facility from your from the bank. You have to give it to the. So depending on the necessity. So there could be block loan, or permanent overdraft facility, or hypothecation facility, or series of loan facility, pledge facilities, trust receipt facility, bank guarantees, then trade finance facilities, that is for the import and export. So you have from the facilities available from your bank, a suitable facility you have to provide as a package to the customer. Actually, we will learn more these things as an example when we do the credit proposal. Maybe my next class will be preparation of credit proposal to the customer. So how to prepare? So in that time, of course, what type of credit facilities we can take and we can provide. Those things we will be discussing in my next lecture. Right. Then this is one thing. Package in the credit facility depending on the need of the company, corporate customer, what do they want to do. Based on that one, you will provide. Then the implementation schedule. Okay. Now the facility, this is the facility you are going to try. How to implement? How to implement? What are the stages? First stage, second stage, third stage. What are the stages? In the first stage, for what purpose you are going to grant? What facility you are going to grant? What is the component, loan component? What is the equity contribution should come from the customer? So what are the conditions for you to release the loan component? For the bank to release the loan component, what are the conditions the customer should satisfy? So stages, what are the stages? For what purpose? Or loan components and condition for release of loan component. That is. Then cash flow based appropriate and repayment period. You have to decide how is the repayment. So based on the cash flow, projected cash flow. Based on the projected cash flow, loan repayment, you have to decide whether a grace period is necessary. If a grace period is necessary, you will provide. But the customer has to pay the interest during this grace period. Grace period means the loan payment, loan repayment, loan installment payment will be allowed. That is, during the grace period, loan capital payment is not paid. But the interest should be paid by the customer. So cash flow based appropriate repayment period. Grace period if necessary. So what is the suitable installment? What amount? Based on the analysis, you must say this much he has to pay, whether monthly or bi-monthly or what, the repayment, how you have to pay. Then the condition, covenants and conditions. Based on the risk analysis, you have to put, you can give various conditions as safeguards to prevent the risk. To prevent the risk as safeguards. Certain thing, declaring dividends, not to declare now. After repayment of the loan only, you can declare dividend. Then drawing, there are limitations on drawings of the directors, payment of directors, loans, etc. These are various conditions and covenants. You have to, give, provide. Then the collateral evaluation. Actually, when we do the consumer credit also, I have given the collateral, what type of collateral, those details I have given you. So you have to go through and that one also in addition to this one. Obtain collateral with legal certainty to realize. So legally, it should be chargeable. The collateral, you have to obtain collateral with legal certainty. Select collateral with low deterioration with time and exposure. That is, when it is a long-term loan, then select the collateral, which of course, select the collateral with low deterioration, right? For property mortgages, building and land are good securities. So select collateral with low deterioration with time. Control the accessibility. Yes, and you must able to go and visit and inspect the collateral. You must be able to go visit and inspect the control the accessibility. Review and update the collateral value with market fluctuation. There is central bank instruction periodically the collateral value should be reviewed. So review and update the collateral value with market fluctuation. Then mitigating, reducing risk in credit proposals. So adapting better credit appraisal techniques and identify the risk factors, hazards in the proposal and providing safeguards. So when you prepare now, after doing all this evaluation, you have to prepare the credit proposal to the management. This should be a concise report, the credit proposal. You have to give all the important facts because your superiors, the various, maybe depending on the amount and other thing, it may go through various levels. So they have to eye-catching. So you must prepare the credit proposal like eye-catching. So adapting better credit appraisal techniques and identifying risk factors in the proposal and providing safeguard. Suitable collaterals to cushion the risk. Then insurance of assets. Monitoring and follow-up are very, very important. Pre and post-sanction supervision, current account, loan account, local gossip also you have to follow it. Then another important thing, credit rating. Another important thing, credit rating. What is credit rating? In our earlier sessions also, I used to mention about the credit rating. Even credit scoring also I have mentioned. Now our Credit Information Bureau, they are calculating credit scoring for customers who want to borrow from the bank. They can get their credit scoring. So based on the credit scoring, they will give it to the lending bank. This Credit Information Bureau, they are giving you the credit report of particular customer. In addition, they are giving this credit score also in respect of particular customer. So based on the credit score, the financial institutions are providing credit facilities to the customer. It's also important, right? So credit rating, the process of assessing the credit worthiness of a customer as well as his or her financial debt or obligation. It will indicate risk status of the entity or the debt instrument. Or customers' risk status will be mentioned by this credit rating. So the process, credit rating is process of assessing the credit worthiness of a customer as well as his or her financial debt or obligation. It will indicate risk status of the entity or the debt instrument. Credit rating can be assigned to any entity that seeks to borrow money. So credit rating can be given to anyone who want to borrow money. It can be individual, it can be companies, it can be corporation, it can be provincial authorities, even the government. The credit rating. A few years back, Sri Lankan government got their credit rating. There's an international credit rating agency, Standard and Poor. It's about 5 or 6 years now, about 7 or 8 years back. The Sri Lankan government has done their credit rating through the international credit rating agency, Standard and Poor. Before borrowing from the international, before borrowing, they have done it. So this is credit rating. So it is done by credit rating agencies. Credit rating is done by credit rating agencies. These credit rating agencies, on the request by the customers, they do the rating, and then they give rating. So ratings are in notations. What type of notation? Alphabetic or alphanumeric notations are used to denote the credit rating of entities. So it could be AAA, capital or capital A, then small a, capital A plus, capital A, small a1, capital A, like that. These are the notations. These notations we call alphabetic and alphanumeric notation. So the credit rating agencies do various analysis of the companies and then they give their credit rating by way of this rating. This notation indicate, yeah, the well established, stabilized, like that way will give the financial position of this company. Rated companies financial position is given by this rating. Credit rating agencies. So who are doing this credit rating? External agencies, external to your corporate customer. They do the credit rating of your corporate customer. Standard and Poor's. There are global agencies we call big three, because three agencies, they are doing more than 90% of the rating done by these three agencies. So we call them big three. Who are they? Standard and Poor is one. Fitch International is one. The Fitch, of course, you would have heard this name. Then Moody's Investor Service Limited. These are the big threes in globally. They do the rating of institutions, credit rating of institutions. Then the national agencies in Sri Lanka also, there are rating agencies. One is Fitch Rating Lanka Limited, then Lanka Rating Agency Limited, formerly RAM Rating, and then ICRA Lanka Limited. This is subsidiary of the ICRA of India. ICRA, Indian Rating Agency, their subsidiary is there in Sri Lanka, ICRA Lanka Limited. So these are the national Sri Lankan rating, credit rating agencies. So on the request, they will do the credit rating and give their notation, alphanumeric or alpha notation they will give. The notation will indicate the financial status of the rated company. Types of credit rating. Sovereign credit rating. There are various types of credit rating. Sovereign credit rating. This is for the countries. I told you Sri Lanka, we got our country rated about 7 or 8 years back by the Standard and Poor company rating agency. So we call it sovereign credit rating. Then corporate credit rating. Corporate customers. Corporate customers also rated, credit rated. SME credit rating. SME customers also credit rated. Then retail customer credit rating, that also there. Retail customers also credit rated. Credit scoring. So that's what we have earlier when we were doing consumer credit evaluation, I have explained about credit scoring. But now our CRIB, Credit Information Bureau, on the request by the customers, they rate, they credit score, calculate the credit score of respective customers and give. So with that credit score, they can borrow from the banks. If it is a good credit score, they can borrow. If it is a bad credit score, no. Then long, medium, short-term credit rating also there. So in the rating, applicable, long-term applicable credit rating is there, medium-term applicable credit rating there, short-term applicable credit rating there. So there are various types of credit rating done by the credit rating agencies on the request of the customers. Internal credit rating of customers. This is very important. Internal credit rating of customers by financial institution. Now, central bank instruction, the financial institution, banks and finance companies, they have to rate their customers internally. Under Basel II, this started from Basel II. Now, Basel III is there. Under Basel II, the central bank has directed the financial institution to develop efficient mechanism for internal credit rating of their customers. So, before granting and even after granting, the financial institution should rate their customers' credit rating internally. So, financial institutions now carry out internal credit rating by manual way and computer based also. They are both are there. manually computer-based operation and assign alphabetic alphanumeric notation to indicate the risk status of the customer prior to granting any facility and also during the period of review and repayment. Before granting also, financial institution has to credit rate their customers, and even after granting also, at the time of repayment, at the time of review, the financial institution have to credit rate their customers. Types of internal credit rating. So there are various types of internal credit rating. Customer rating, yes. What is consumer credit customers, personal customers, SME customers, retail customers, corporate customers should be rated. Then facility rating. For different types of facilities also, credit rating is there. For housing loan facility, for business loan facility, yeah, different facility also. Then collateral rating also there. For different types of collateral also, credit rating is there. So all these things are done by internally by the financial institution. Okay, yes. Now this is corporate credit evaluation. We have done corporate credit evaluation. We have done so many things. We have discussed now. Well, if you have any problem, you can contact me. You ask. If you don't, I hope if you don't understand anything, yes, you can at any time you can give me calls and you can ask. And one more lecture I have to take, that is credit proposal, preparation of credit proposal. So when a customer actually the credit proposal, preparation of credit proposal, you are the credit officer, then you will do the analyzing, you do the analysis, credit evaluation, and you must get the approval. So approval may depending on the amount and the type of facility at different level. Maybe the credit manager can approve, or maybe the AGM, or the DGM, or the CEO, or general manager, and maybe the board of directors. It may go ultimately, may go to the board of directors. So this is based on the delegated authority of credit, based on the delegated authority. So what you have to do after doing the evaluation, the customer would have given you a project report, maybe, but this one that we are going to do, that may be about 50-60 pages. But the 50-60 pages, you can't send it to your superiors. They don't have time to go through it. So you have to give the crux of the fact in regard to the facility in about 2 or 3 pages. But there can be annexes. To support, there can be any number of annexes. But the main paper, body of the paper, should be restricted to 2 or 3 pages maximum. That only your superior officers have time to read, because you are also sending. There are other credit officers are sending, and from the Sri Lanka, from all 9 provinces, so many branches. It will go to the respective AGM and the respective DGM, and then finally to the GM. So they don't have time to go through everything. So you have to give if you are recommending the credit facility to support that one, the important facts you have to give. You have to give the important facts. So you have to prepare the credit proposal. So my next lecture will be on preparation of credit proposal. So there are also what are the facilities you are giving, a package of credit facilities, package to satisfy the customer's credit need for various purposes. What type of credit? So we have already discussed with you the different type of credit facilities, fund-based and non-fund-based, fund-based and non-fund-based. Please go through it and come for the next lecture. Those information will be needed for us to prepare the credit proposal. For us to prepare the credit proposal. So my next one, will be with that one. I will conclude it. With that one, I will conclude my lecture. And the preparation as a credit officer or the credit manager, the preparation of credit proposal for the higher management is very, very important. It's very, very important. Everything what you learn and everything coming into this one finally. I always used to say, well appraised loan is half repaid. When your appraisal is good, you can be sure the loan is half repaid. Balance half only you have to recover through your monitoring, supervision, discussion, attending meetings through that way. So well appraised credit facility is half repaid. Okay, fine. So we must stop now. I will meet you on my next session, which is preparation of credit proposal. Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you.